Hey everybody, it is Meredith again with Tigerlili Resources, and it is time for another tiger tale. So I'm going to set my timer, again, 10-minute timer. Let's try to keep it at that time frame. And all right, we've started. So last video I did was just kind of a, hey guys, we're gonna go on a journey together of stories. It was story time. So today I wanna go a little bit back to the beginning and why Tigerlili is what it is now. So I started Tigerlili Resources in 2013 in Palm Beach County, Florida. And originally when I started it, it was a single mom outreach ministry, working with women. I found myself suddenly single after 13 years of being with my son's father. And it was pretty devastating, especially being in Palm Beach County. Definitely a whole different state of mind, mindset, motives, motivations than a Midwest mindset that I had been raised on. So it was very much, people were very like keeping up with the Joneses, very materialistic. And it was really challenging. It was very hard to live on one income in Palm Beach County with a house, raising my son. We had a dog. I had all the bills. It was crazy. So I had gone through one of the darkest times of my life ever. And I was very far from God at that time, clearly not saved. I didn't get saved until I was 36, and that was in 2012, 13. I don't know, do the math later. I was 36. I'm going to be 45 this year. So, yeah. So I had started a relationship again with my Father in heaven, and prayed and everything, and after a dark period of my life. And I was like, you know, well, all right, I was running a real estate office on Palm Beach Island, and that is where all of the mega bajillionaires live. Mar-a-Lago is there. It was a very small office that I worked at. It was me and 4 agents. It was a mother, son, his wife, and then another gentleman who worked there. And it was very eye-opening and extremely soul-suffocating. I had never experienced such shallowness and judgmental jabs, and it was just not where I needed to be. That was definitely a market that any agent would kill to get into, and I accidentally got the job. I was trying to do a part-time job while I'd just gotten my real estate license, so I was part-time, I thought, to just supplement income while I was growing my real estate business, and I found out that that job was full-time. And when I was offered the job, you just don't say no to a position like that. So there were many days that I would sit in the office by myself because the agents were out, and I answered phones and did emails and all that stuff. And I would pray and I'd be like, God, okay, you did not get me this far for just this. Like there's more to this, and you got to show me what it is. And at that time, I was probably very, very, very baby Christian, very. So I didn't have the eyes and ears readily open wide to see what he was showing me. Little by little, the flower, Tigerlili, kept showing up so obnoxiously. That is not a native flower in Florida, and I would see it everywhere, all the time, every day, on billboards, covers of magazines. Somebody would be delivering flowers and they'd be tiger lilies. I mean, it was just obnoxious. And one day my son comes home from school, and he was probably 10 or 11 at that time. And he was like, Mom, look what I made in art class today. And he opens up this, I still have this picture. It's actually over there. He painted a tiger lily flower, and I was just jaw dropped because this was like bam, 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 bam. And I looked at him, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, of all flowers you picked? He's like, well, I kind of messed it up. It was supposed to be a sunflower, and it turned into this. And I was like, you didn't mess this up at all. So I looked up what is the meaning or significance of a tiger lily flower. And that lily it represents the essence of feminine courage. It is the most aggressive lily out of all of them. If you take one down, they immediately start growing back and multiplying. The colors, the orange and brown, represents self-worth, self-wealth, and creativity. And yeah, like I knew, like, he started planting inside me, like, ideas for ministry. I didn't know it was ministry at the time, for helping single moms. Right. And so when you tie the purpose to the meaning of that flower, like, I couldn't have made that up if I wanted to. Like, I'm creative, but I'm not that creative. So I was like, wow, okay, God, I hear ya. So I had left the office that I was running on Palm Beach Island, and I went to a different office as far west as you could go. I was as far east as you could go on Palm Beach Island, and then I went to Wellington, which was as far west as you could go without hitting the swamps, basically. But it was I wouldn't say equally as nice of an area. It was beautiful, gorgeous. Palm Beach is all an area all of its own, but Wellington was very well off. So I was in that office, and I was actually recruiting, and had horrible experiences there with the broker and an agent that I was bringing over, and it was a nightmare. So bad that I had to call our real estate commission, make reports, and talk to attorneys, and my license was at risk. And anyway, the advice that I got was I should just write my resignation letter and resign and leave that job. What else do you have to lose? And I was like, well, my paycheck, because I'm a single mom and I kind of need to make a living. And he was like, well, would you rather lose your paycheck or lose your license? And I was like, okay, note taken. I wrote my resignation letter. So I had just started going back to church, and I went on the grounds of our church. It was, we sat on 23 acres in Loxahatchee Groves. It was Community of Hope Church, and it was the warm blanket that this broken baby bird needed at the time. So I went on the prayer walk, and it was right around Easter time, so they had a big cross at the end of the prayer walk. And I'm walking down, and I was furious because I'm like, gone through too many jobs and just one struggle after another, and I was just done. So I went to the cross and I was going to have it out with God. I was going to give him a piece of my mind. And I started with this little pout, and I couldn't even get the words out. I got a little bit closer to the cross, and I put my hand on my hip, and I was going to tell him what's up, and I couldn't get the words out. And I got a little closer, and so close. Finally, I was literally sitting at the foot of the cross, Indian style, around the cross, holding the cross with my head against it, bawling my eyes out, and just like, God, I can't do this. Like, whatever I'm doing, I suck at it. So you say you got this life, then you take it. It's yours. You do with it what you will. I'm done. Not saying that I was going to hurt myself. I was done, like, making the decisions, right? So I wipe my big fat alligator tears, and I look up, and there's like pine trees that were really tall trunks, and then the pines would burst at the top. And when I wiped my eye and I looked up, I promise on everything, I saw his face in the treetops, and he was looking down at me, smiling with this look of, you silly girl, would you stop crying and go do what I have for you? And instantly peace just settled over me. So I wiped my tears, I grabbed my purse, I left, I dropped my letter in the mail of resignation, and I went home, and I sat down at my computer, and I just started typing. And within 48 hours, I literally had the entire platform of Tigerlili Resources, of what we were going to do, who we were going to serve, how we were going to serve them, what our focuses were. I was getting a hold of people I should have never gotten a hold of, and it was all him showing up and showing out, and I knew he had his hand on this ministry. So I registered to get our EIN, our incorporation number, right? And I knew when I got assigned the number, I knew it was God saying, because I have a goofball thing with numbers. I pay attention to them. They catch my attention all the time. And when they do, he speaks to me when I see these numbers, right? Well, our tax ID number ends in 777. And I was just like, yeah, okay, that's you, God. Okay. So we started this journey together of Tigerlili Resources, empowering single mothers, because that was the struggle I had, and that's who I wanted to help. There's our timer. I don't know if I can turn it off. Okay. So that's the very beginning. Tigerlili started in 2013 as single mom ministry, empowering single mothers. Little did I know the twist it was going to take over the years. So tune in to the next update, the next Tiger Tale, and I'll tell you more. Here we go. Thanks, guys.